Hey everyone, I can hear something weird going on. That's actually me. That's not even. Hang on. Hey everyone. Oh my goodness.
This day.
Oh, I'm having like the tech issues from hell. I'm normally quite together with like all my tech and stuff, but today it's just been a disaster.
Must
I
be
was
me.
like, it's not even. So, just hi everyone, by the way.
Yes.
Apologies that I'm 5 minutes late. The reason is absolutely nothing to do with the very lovely Orsi and everything to do with me. Of course, I was blaming Orsi. I made Orsi go out and come back in and everything. And then it turns out it was just my earpiece wasn't working, and then my camera wasn't working, and then my microphone wasn't working. And anyway, we're here now. So hello to everyone, and a massive warm welcome to the lovely Orsi. What I'll do is I'll go down and I'll say hi to everyone that we've got here with us in the chat. I'll take it out of top chat. See what I mean? I'm just not prepared. So first in, we've got Zane from Tarot Token Witchery. Hi Zane. We've got Jackie Jacaranda. We've got Scott from Scorpio Moon Tarot. Hi Scott. And the lovely Simon from the Hermit's Cave. We've got Kimberly from As Found. Kimberly. Donna Riedler's here. We've got the lovely Regina Tarot. Hi, Regina. How are you doing? And Debbie from Aquarius Owl. Let's see. We've got Deanne from Blue Crescent Tarot. Hi, Deanne. How are you? Tanya Riley's here. Hi, Tanya. We've got Light Energy 555. Light Energy, you've told me your name previously, I think, and I can't remember.
You should make
But
notes.
I know, I really should. See, if I did the Warshay, my entire screen would be plastered with post-it notes because I've got a really poor memory, and if I start doing that, I just won't stop. Have you got a wee notebook, a wee file of facts?
I mean, I learned from Gerald, so.
Oh, it jumped, but it didn't jump far, so we're all good. I think that's everyone so far. If I've missed anyone, apologies. But it's lovely to have you all here. It's lovely to see you all. So I'm not alone today. I'm very lucky to be joined by Orsi from DRAGORSI'S Tarot. If one of the very lovely mods would mind popping Orsi's channel into the chat, that would be great for anyone who's in the live chat. Just give it a click, hit subscribe, and then scurry on back because we don't want to miss you for too long. I can see that Nerys from Wiccan222 has just popped in. So hi Nerys, it's lovely to see you. So yeah, and you can also find a link to Orsi's channel in the description of the video. So definitely give Orsi, if for some strange, bizarre reason you're not subscribed to Orsi's channel, and you're, I hasten to say, more importantly, not subscribe to James the Skull. Is it James?
James, yes.
James. Like, where have you been? You need to be getting James's messages. So go and subscribe if you want to know what on earth I'm talking about. So, Orsi, why don't you tell us a wee bit about you? And just tell us a bit about your channel. It doesn't need to be anything, just briefly.
Briefly, okay. So, yeah, I'm Orsi. Yes, I'm Hungarian, so that's why the strange pauses between words, before words that I don't remember how to say them in English. I mostly do deck reviews and walkthroughs and stuff like that on my channel, but lately I started having conversations because I renamed my Monday bi-weekly lives to conversations because that's what we're doing there, which is really fun. So I have, different topics that I have lovely people to join me. Chris will join me soon. So, that's why you have to subscribe to me to see him again.
Definitely.
And what else? Check my channel. It's so much easier than, me sitting here and talking about that.
Yeah, go check it out. I was going to say there, this is just before I forget. At the end of September, we have Bisexuality Visibility Day. Therefore, I don't know if it's the same all around the world or if this is a UK thing or what, but in the UK, certainly, we celebrate September as Bisexuality Visibility Month. So I just wanted to do a quick shout for that. If you're kind of if you're looking to do something to support the bisexual community, in particular as like a tarot enthusiast, then yeah, go subscribe to Orsi's channel first of all. As a tarot enthusiast, something that I always encourage people to do is to act with your money. So if you're thinking, do you know what, I'm going to treat myself to a wee tarot deck this month, what one am I going to get? Then check out sites like Little Red Tarot, who actually have a section for queer created tarot decks. And you can pick something that's been created by, someone who's queer. I'm not sure if it breaks it down to things like, bisexual and things like that. But, I know that it does have like kind of a like non-binary created decks and gay and lesbian and stuff. So check it out. And yeah, just wanted to say that quickly just now. But without further ado, we're obviously here to read the lovely Orsi's cards for her. Now, Orsi, do you want to tell everyone in the chat what your question is for us?
I wanted to ask if it's better if I describe it in detail, or if it's not. I'm not sure, if by describing it in too much detail, I would restrict the reading or not. I'm just, looking for advice if I should go into it or not.
See, I think there's pluses and there's positives and negatives to doing it both ways. There's positives to, believe it or not, there's positives to just sitting down at a reader's table and saying, I don't want to tell you what it is. I just want you to read the cards and tell me, because, and it's Rachel Pollock that says this. She had someone that did this. They said, I just want you to read my cards and that's it. I don't want to tell you anything. And she did. And she picked up on the thing that the person wanted to know about. And because they'd done it that way, the person believed her. They knew that she wasn't just telling them what they wanted to hear. Do you know what I mean? So there's positives to saying nothing, but at the same time, there's also obviously, to me, a tarot reading is a conversation. So there's positives.
That's why I'm asking. I just wanted to know which one works for you better.
What works for me? Well, I'm happy with whatever. But why don't you at least, in as much or as little detail as you want, you tell us what your question is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have trust issues, so that's not a problem. So, true. So the main thing is that I'm going to give a little bit of backstory. So I had to leave my previous job at the library because my boss there was a narcissistic asshole, and it was just so toxic. Even though I loved the job, I loved the place, it's local, I loved everybody else, I had to leave. I mean, I'm still contractually there, but not as an actual employee. And I didn't want to leave because, I had nothing else. But then my sister got pregnant, and there was an opening to replace her for the 2 years while she's on maternity leave. So I have that job, but it's limited. And I absolutely hate knowing that there's going to be a point when I have to start looking for a job again, especially because of my illness and health history. I can't just do any job. I can't do regular 8 hours job. This is only working because I'm working from home. So it's a very special and in a way good job. But I will have to leave at some point, and I would like to work for myself, do creative stuff and write and just do that, because I know that suits me, but I have no idea if I will be able to do that, or if I have to find something else. Where should I even look? And all these big daunting questions. And I know that I still have a lot of time, but we're almost like 10 months into the first year. So I'm like, oh. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. So the way this is going to work, guys, and what I'm going to do is I've made a banner that just summarises Orsi's question. So I'll have that scrolling along the bottom for anyone who's who's coming in. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this, and then we're going to get a bit of this sorted. Yeah. Don't really need to see my keyboard. I don't think that's going to help us out much, is it? We're going to pull a soul card first, the same format as we always do. So we're going to pull a soul card first, and we can read this for Orsi's question, and then we'll get into the tarot spread. So we're just looking for some guidance on your career, on what to do next, because there's change on the horizon. So let's see what the soul cards have for us. Oh, jeez, oh. I love the colours, but not what's actually happening.
I mean, that's me, pretty much.
So do you see how, like, so I said I love the colours because you've obviously got the big rainbow,
Yeah,
and it's
same.
quite funny after what I was just kind of shouting out there. But you've got the big rainbow up above. This is really strong Five of Cups energy for me. Don't know if anyone else feels like that as well. But do you see how the person is kind of almost consumed by the shit that they've got going on, by their pain, by their grief, by just everything that they've got to deal with. That their face is covered up and they're not actually able to see this beautiful burst of colour that's above them. So right away, what I want to say to you is, don't worry about it. For one thing, you've got time on your side. Quite a lot of the time when people are in a bad place career-wise and they need career advice, it's because they've lost their job, been made redundant, and they need a job right now. You've got the benefit of time, and you've got a year to work this out. So that's a plus. That's one of the pluses that's up here in this rainbow that you might not be focusing on so much. Do you see how it's not just about like kind of the rainbow and that she's not looking? There's almost this kind of a dark aura around about this figure.
Mhm.
So it's almost like I don't want to say the protecting because it's the wrong way around, but it's almost like they're shielding themselves
Shielding.
from all this positive energy, and they're keeping themselves in their bubble of shit. So yeah, I want to say to you that there are solutions there. There's a lot of positive solutions there. There's a lot of kind of a positive paths that you could take. It's about getting yourself into a place where you're like, right, okay, I can see, these are my options. And like I said, I'm getting really strong Five of Cups energy from this, so it's an emotional thing, I think, It's sometimes when we when our emotions take over, they cloud our head, our ability to actually rationally analyze the situation and see the options that we've got. I think that's enough talking from me. Orsi, what do you think about the card?
Yeah, I mean, I immediately feel called out for, like, see, you don't have to worry. There's a lot of good things around you, but you're, not, you're refusing to see because you're like this. And I know, my rational part of me knows this exactly, but my, all the other part of me is like,
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, card. But I'm kind of interested in that purple.
The purple
What
splodge
is
here.
it? Yeah, because it looks like a dragon. I mean, I know I see dragons everywhere, but
I was
like
thinking it looks like a wee dog, but you're right. It does kind of look quite draconian, doesn't it?
which is
Yeah.
interesting.
And we've not even really talked much about the fact that there's a face down here.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll leave the soul card on the table and we come back to it, as and when. So, But let's see. So Donna says that seems to describe how Orsi is feeling about the situation. V, just in response to what you were saying, toxic bosses are such a drain. Sandra, hi Sandra, how you doing? Sounds like my boss when I worked at the library. Must be a library thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. Library is supposed to be really calm and wonderful place to work at, and then all the bosses are assholes. So I just
Yeah. I think we've gone past when I first put down the card because Diane's saying most of the time in the shop she did blind reads. Tanya says also in Little Red Tarot's recent newsletter, they said that the shop has shrunk and they don't have to pay VAT anymore, so prices have dropped. Well, that's pretty cool.
I know that they are moving into a new place. That was the one that I read.
Right, okay, exciting. Hi Candy, by the way. The character looks like they're hibernating. Okay. Cool. I think that's all we've got for people commenting on the soul card, but as always, you know, it's going to be here. So if you've got
that was a bad comment. Have you seen that one?
What's that, sorry?
There was one about that it looks like a bat. Have you seen that one?
Oh, no. Oh yeah, Tanya, it looks like a bat to me. Sorry, Tanya, you were just above.
No, it's just because I have some sort of an incoming connection with bats.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had two very powerful dreams about a month or 2 months ago, and it's just that's why I was like, a bat, because I don't see the bat, but I kind of, it was interesting that someone said that.
Yeah, definitely. Jackie says, is it a mirror, Chris? So is what a mirror? Oh, this? What do you mean? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not seeing anything that looks like a mirror. But then again, I didn't see the rude thing on the Ace of Cups on the Tarot of the Abyss for ages, so maybe if I just leave it there, it'll hit me. So we're going to use the Deviant Moon Tarot today, people, which is exciting. So what we're going to do, let me just quickly cast my eyes down these comments. I don't want to miss anyone. Hi, Nancy. Cool. Yeah, Deviant Moon Tarot. I've got the borderless edition, which I love. I got this. This was a Christmas present from Sandy years and years ago. So, yeah, this is one that's close to my heart. We are going to use the same spread that we used for Ben about a month back when we did this with Ben. So this is the spread from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot book. It's the 10-card spread. Kind of like a Celtic Cross, but kind of not. It's more geared towards actually giving advice. Oh, your Queen of Swords jumped out at you there. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, the Queen of Swords just bounced out the deck when I was shuffling.
I was fangirling about the Raven's Prophecy.
So with this spread, what I'll do is I'll just talk you through each of the kind of a position meanings as they come up. I'm going to shove you over here just now because you're going to get in the way. Do I really need to be? My face could be a bit smaller. There we go. So looking for some advice on your career, your next steps, and what to do. Okay, first card is going to be the current situation card. It's what's happening right now. It basically is supposed to describe Orsi and her current situation. We've got the Three of Swords, so we're starting out with a heavy stuff. Right, so do you know how in this I was saying I'm getting Five of Cups energy? I'm seeing a situation where your emotions are almost clouding your judgment. They're clouding your ability to think about it. So to me, the Three of Swords is always about balancing the emotions and the intellect, the emotions and your kind of a rational mind. Swords should always be a card that's about intellect. You should always, to me, we should always be talking about, in the Three of Swords, there should always be an element of it that's about expanding the truth, growth of the mind, having more of an open mind. It's that kind of thing. But with decks like your Solabusca, your Smith Waite, and everything else that's followed that takes inspiration from that, we have this heart. We've brought in the emotional kind of a side of it. So to me, that just serves as a warning, is like, you need to be careful when you're on your path for the truth, because sometimes the truth can hurt like an absolute bitch. The truth isn't always sunshine and rainbows. So sometimes when we go for that open mind, when we expand ourselves in that way, we're basically kind of opening ourselves up, and it can hurt sometimes, you know. But it's always about how your thinking self is interacting with your emotional self. And like I was saying there, sometimes your emotional self can cloud your thinking self and vice versa. So what I would say based on this card is, don't beat yourself up about the situation, because as I said, you've got plenty of time to play with right now. So I don't want you sitting thinking, you know, fuck's sake, why can I not get myself to, why can I not make a decision? Why do I not know what I want to do? I think you need to kind of ease up on yourself a wee bit. And you might just find that when you do, things seem a bit clearer, things open up a wee bit. Okay, just don't be so harsh on yourself, if that applies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel about the Three of Swords, Orsi?
I mean, I read the Three of Swords as an opportunity to learn from heartbreak and suffering, and pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much my fucking life, so I should be, able to do that. But it's kind of tiring that life is always like this. I was just thinking about today that when can I get a longer period of time when I don't have to worry about something. So I understand the card, and especially with this deck, because if you look at this card, she's a bit more like oh, look at me, I'm suffering.
Yeah.
So it's the overdoing it just for your own sake. So sake.
You're right. There is almost a theatrical way to the way she's. Oh my goodness.
So look at me, I'm suffering, even though I'm not. Just it's a playfully way to tell me to, dude, don't do this. Please, the comments stayed on the screen and they can see. So yeah.
Sorry. You know that I'm always going to do that, though, don't you? Like, there's no point in kidding ourselves. It's a shame I can't somehow enable my mods to sort of play with that kind of thing. But
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, but they might remove you from the stream, so.
So Tanya said, also looks like a seed sprouting from their head.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's about 3 or about the soul card.
Soul card. I think it was up on the soul card, and it was just because if you look at it, there's one. Yeah, the smudges kind of look like that.
Right. Okay. Cool. So these are two quite similar energies, actually, aren't they?
Yeah. And I use the Deviant Moon for career, job, work-related readings as well. So.
Oh, good.
I like this deck.
Tanya says the Deviant Moon doesn't pull punches, does it? I always call it my kick up the butt deck. Sandra. See. Tanya says, my first thought was that you need to sever your emotional connection so that you can approach the situation more rationally. Sure. Okay, if anyone's got any other thoughts on the Three of Swords, then let us know. I'll shift on and we'll do the crossing card, which is talking about the immediate influences. It's the stuff that Orsi's dealing with. It's the people around her. It's the situation that she's tackling. It's basically everything that she's interacting with at this particular moment in time. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Wands here. So quite often the Seven of Wands talks about putting yourself in an advantageous position. In the imagery here, though, if you look, we're seeing something quite different in the image here. The Seven of Wands and the Deviant Moon, to me, is one of the cards that that you could interpret totally differently. We see someone who's coming out of a wooded forest. Almost looks like, they've navigated their way out of the wooded forest. So there is still that element of, I suppose, success that we might associate with the Seven of Wands, but we just get a totally different feel from it. Okay. Someone just wolf whistled outside. I'm going to take that. I'm going to assume that was for me. So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that is what you're doing. You've got a bit of a situation going on and you want to find your way out of it. I suppose that's giving you hope, though, because it's not like, to me, the Seven of Wands is a promise of success. It is a promise of victory. It talks about you being in that advantageous position. You're having that high ground. And as far as this image is concerned, we see the person at the end of that journey. They're finding their way out, We see the kind of a relief at the end. So that would suggest to me that, keep doing what you're doing. There's nothing particularly wrong with what you're doing right now. The energy that you're putting in and the stuff that you're doing, it has purpose and it's going to get you to, where you want to be. So whatever it is whatever steps you're already taking, this isn't going to be a completely disregard all of that, and start from square one. This is very much, you're already making really positive steps towards, finding another job for afterwards or figuring out what it is that you want to do. So yeah, what do you think, Orsi?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't read this card as how I usually read the Seven of Wands, because with this one, after what you said, I was kind of thinking about that, this is a Wands, this is about passion, this is about those creative stuff that I'm working on, and I have quite a few things, and looking at this card, it kind of feels like I'm trying to, keep everything away from them, protecting all these creative endeavors or whatever's.
Right, okay. So you think this looks like protection almost? This looks like you're standing guard in your passions, your wants?
Yeah.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
But I kind of have that feeling that maybe it's, I shouldn't guarding them so tightly as well.
Right, okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I can definitely see it in the image, yeah. Let me see so Susie Gemini, hi by the way, Susie, says the Three of Swords felt like a dance, but not a good dance. Okay, so picking up on that kind of a theatrical side to it. Scott says the Seven of Wands, be aware of your surroundings and stay focused. Donna, I read the Seven of Wands as defending your position, but this imagery is different. It's interesting because that's pretty much what you said. You're defending something. So there's this defensive feel to the cards and to the way that people are reading it. Scott says a sad love song dance to Susie. Debbie, if you guard something too closely, how will anyone ever see your work? If you guard your passions too closely, how is anyone going to see it? Debbie's asking. Okay, so we've managed to get a bit of a view of the situation. Next, we kind of we take a deep dive into the ORSI's brain, essentially. We're going to look at the conscious and unconscious aspects of ORSI's kind of a thinking towards the situation. So conscious first, and we've got the full. It makes sense. I don't think we need to kind of draw this one out. You're focused on a new beginning, essentially, you know. So you know
Yeah.
that there's going to have to be a change. That's what's taking up your, you know, that's what's taking your focus, and that's what you're spending your energy on. Is how to deal with that change. And in particular with this full card, I find it quite different from other fulls because so quite often we see the fool as someone who's about to take a step off a cliff, you know, someone who's diving into this new beginning. In this one, it's a bit different. We see someone who is dancing through the streets at night in their bedwear and, you know, in their pajamas or whatever it is. Um, and this is more about not giving any fucks about what anyone else thinks about you. You know, they both are concepts that link to the fool because the fool is about, you know, having like a blank mind. You know, it's about a completely fresh start where you're not tarnished by the thoughts and the expectations of society around about you. That's why your like Smith Wakefield, for example, can leap off of that cliff because he doesn't have all of those kind of oh no, that's not something that you do. And that is why our fool here can dance through the streets, you know, in his pajamas because, you know, he almost doesn't care what anyone thinks, you know, or he's not aware of it. So both are about a new beginning, but this is about a new beginning, but this time it's like, so if I can speak from your point of view, it's like I know I want to start something anew, but see this time round, I'm not going to give any fucks about what anyone thinks of me. This time around, I'm going to find something and I'm going to do it because it's what I want to do, and it's not because it's what's expected of me. You know, that is what that fool says to me, and that's what it would how it speaks to your kind of a intentions, your aims, your conscious mind at the moment. So does that make sense? And do you have any additional thoughts about that, Phil?
Absolutely. And it's because it's a conscious thing. It makes sense because what I want to do with my life is that definitely that full type of energy when you don't know if you're going to be able to succeed and you're going to be something really big and amazing and whatever, or you're going to fall flat on your face. And that fear, that conflict is what's always on my mind, you know, because I can't just be like, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I want to do this, because reality keeps checking in. But I don't want that to be my reality. So that's where the conflict is coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Tanya, so 7 could be growth from a stable position. So use this current job and the stability that it currently offers you to grow new passions and creative ideas. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. That kind of a growth from stability. So using your standpoint that you have at the moment to grow from, rather than waiting until you go all the way back to square zero to start completely all over again. So I like that actually. I know I've maybe said that slightly differently, but I think we're both getting at the same point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sandra loves this full card. You know that you need to take some risks, says Tanya. Donna says 0 fucks to give. Yep. I'm liking the look of this deck. I might put it on the wish list. Oh yeah, the Deviant Moon is a classic.
I love it.
Like that definition. Thanks, Scott. I don't see you ever falling on your face, says Susie.
I did it many times, trust me.
So Michelle, I'm not doing readings for everybody just now. I'm doing a reading for my guest here, who's Orsi. This is a round table reading.
But you can
So
subscribe to me and come to my channel tomorrow when I do reading.
there you go. So yes, Tanya, now is the time to start something new, whilst still having some time with this day job to pay the bills. Yeah.
I mean, I'm working on stuff.
Thanks, Chad.
So
Good. Right, let's have a look at the next card, which is the unconscious. So this is stuff that's maybe not as obvious to you right now. It's maybe stuff that you're not kind of seeing, or it's stuff that's just kind of in your peripherals. It's kind of in the background. And we've got the Queen of Cups. So we do. So first of all, if you kind of look at image-wise, if you look at these, they're both pointing in the same direction. They're actually both really similar characters. See if you kind of look at them, the eye colour, the lip colour, the skin tone. I suppose the difference is what they're wearing, but they're both wearing really kind of a bright, vibrant colours. To me, your conscious and your unconscious are pointing in the same direction. So that's something I would say that's quite positive. You've got your fool who's dancing through the canal. He's dancing through water, and then you've obviously got your Queen of Cups, who is the ultimate water card. She's the water of water. So sometimes you get an issue when you're doing readings like this, and you start looking at conscious and unconscious. See if the conscious and the unconscious are pointing in total opposite directions, and they're trying to do two different things. Then that's where you're like, oh fuck, right, okay, there's a problem here. It's kind of like the Chariot card. If you imagine the Chariot, where if the two horses are kind of pulling in different directions and you're struggling to control them, that's kind of what happens when your conscious and unconscious aren't aligned. But to me, I'm not seeing that here. To me, I'm seeing them very much aligned, but just expressed in slightly different ways. I see, the kind of so your unconscious can talk about your the feelings that you get from your gut, your instincts, and if you see yourself as psychic, then it might be like your kind of a psychic messages, your psychic awareness. That's all your unconscious stuff. And I do see a lot more kind of like your Queen of Cups as a much more together, a much more experienced, a much more mature character than your fool, who's kind of just right at the very beginning of his journey. So listen to your intuition is the message that rings across here to me. What do you think about the Queen of Cups?
I'm not good with connecting to my emotions. That's one thing. So it's quite interesting that there's such a strong emotional card here. And what you said that they both looking at the same direction. Do you read it as looking at the past, or you're just focusing on that they are looking at the same direction?
Yeah, I'm just focusing on the directionality of it. I don't tend to. Sometimes I will. It just depends on how the card hits me. But I'm certainly not.
One, I didn't feel like the past either.
You don't feel like it's the past?
No. I mean, usually when they are facing left, I always take that as, looking back. But I kind of don't feel like that with these two.
Yeah, certainly not. If you take your steer from the Fool, I don't think the Fool's ever a card that's looking to the past. That's kind of the point in the Fool, is that he almost has no past. He's a blank slate. So he's always kind of focused on what's ahead. So yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't hone in on that particular aspect so much here. Kind of what you said.
It's kind of like the Queen is waiting for the Fool to fucking turn his head and just notice finally what's in front.
Yeah, it's like almost like she's holding her hand out to him, isn't it?
I have the cup. Come on, realize and reach it finally.
Like I'm waiting very patiently.
Like my subconscious is waiting for my conscious to catch up.
So maybe that's, I mean, you said there that you don't view yourself as someone who's particularly good at connecting to your emotions. Maybe you're a lot better at it than what you think you are. And it's just waiting for you to actually realize that, and therefore trust those kind of instincts, trust those kind of emotion, those feelings that you get about things. What does everybody else think?
You're so true. What Susie said, this. Yeah, I just I keep forgetting that the Queen of Cups is my. Wow, really? I kind of forgot that we played the tarot adventure, and we have a
Yeah.
game, and my character is the Queen of Cups.
Oh, nice. Did you pick that for yourself, or did
Yeah,
you? Was that?
yeah. Everybody picks a card for themselves. So I mean, I shuffled, and that was mine. So it's interesting.
Right.
So my
Okay.
subconscious is trying to, communicate for a while now. So it seems.
Yeah. Scott says the Queen of Cups for unconscious to me says that you know the answer deep down already. It's just a matter about getting there.
Oh,
I mean, she's almost like the master of the unconscious, isn't she? She's the ultimate unconscious card. So it's quite a cool card to have there. It looks like the Queen is offering the fella a drink. Yep. Looks like she's offering to help him. V says, suggest to me, let your heart guide you what feels right as opposed to what you think is right. Yeah, because the fool the fool's a very instinctual creature as well, isn't he? He doesn't like the fool doesn't tend
yeah,
to act on past experience because, like I was just saying, we don't really associate him with having that. It's all about what he feels at the time, and the Queen to me is like learning to trust that. So yeah. Anyway, um, thank you very much, Jackie. Jackie's linking your channel in the chat for
Jackie's awesome.
everyone. She is. Uh, the Queen mod. Tanya says, with the three swords piercing the heart, perhaps it's saying that you aren't connected to your heart, and that if you let things bubble up from your subconscious, you'll have your answer. Okay.
It could
Cool.
be that because the Queen of Cups is a psychic card, that maybe I need to use tarot more.
Maybe
Because
you'll get your answers there.
because when I'm too, stressed out about the topic, I don't do readings for myself because I can't when I'm too emotional.
Right. Okay.
So I just push everything down and I just worry.
Yeah.
Healthy, coping mechanism.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think a lot of us do that though, don't we? Okay. The next, this is where we start getting into the advice. So the next card is, first of all, we're going to examine what you're thinking. So the next card is what you think you should do. So this is what Orsi thinks she should do. We've got 10 of Cups. So that's interesting. There's quite a strong emotional link there. There's quite a strong link to family. Are you thinking about working, like introducing like that? Because I know right now you said you're working in place of your sister, aren't you? So would you ever consider, like, is there jobs around someone that's in your family opening up, or
No, but the Ten of Cups for me is, that dream life when everything is the way that I want.
yeah,
And obviously I want to live that life.
yeah.
So it makes, to me, it makes perfect sense that that's what I think, because I just don't see how it's possible, probably.
Right. Okay. We'll see what the cards say you should do down here. So do you think this means then, like, basically you should follow your heart? You should do what it is that you want to do. And
it's not that I should follow, but it's what I hope, and that's my most secret desire, to have that life.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I wonder what everybody else thinks. What do you guys think about the 10 of Cups in this position? It's funny because, see, if you look, so if you look at these two, right, and then look at the figures that are in this card, this almost looks like the Fool and the Queen. It looks like they've kind of combined to procreate, you know, to create something new, something that wasn't quite possible alone for each of them to do alone, but together it's something that they're able to achieve. All right.
Yeah.
So
I never looked at those, like that, but you're right. You kind of look like that.
yeah, Susie's saying you've got this.
Susie is nice.
She's your cheerleader for tonight.
Yeah, it looks like.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
appreciate it. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next card, and then we'll see at the end when we come and kind of try and tell the story all together. We'll see what kind of what ideas this gives us in the grand scheme of things. So the next card is about what you think you shouldn't do or what you don't think that you should do. So we've got the Six of Coins or the Six of Pentacles here. So Six of Pentacles is traditionally a card about giving things away. It's a card about generosity, about charity, about balance. So to me, this is saying you're in a place where you're like, right, this isn't really the time to be balancing scales. You know, charity begins at home. This is a time when I need to kind of look out for me and look out for my like. I've got a year, and then I'm going to be finishing this job. So now is the time to concentrate on me and my career and finding something new. It's not a time to be concentrating on other people. My energy needs to be spent first and foremost on myself for now. Um, so it's that's how I would maybe read that. I don't know if you've maybe got some other ideas about it, because I mean you could quite easily just read that almost more literally and say, "Oh, now's not a time to be giving money away. This is a time to be saving." What do you think about
Yeah, so I shouldn't buy new tarot decks. That's what you want to tell me?
it? Well,
Yeah, well, but
within reason,
it could be the reverse as
helps
well.
every
Because
now and then.
yeah, with the six, it can be that I'm in the position on of the one in the bottom, where I need to accept help as well.
Right, okay.
It could
So
be that, maybe.
yeah, potentially, yeah. Because bear in mind, this is the card that represents what you don't think will help or what you think you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So if you've got an aversion to accepting help, if you find it difficult to accept help from other people, then that would totally make sense in that position. And
It's not that I don't have, because I'm here, but I kind of don't think that the people around me can help me, because I have an idea of what they think and what they would say. So maybe that could be the one. I don't know.
right, okay. Have you ever had the conversation though?
When I left my previous one, they were very supportive, and they told me long before I actually quit my job that I should, because because how sick I was, they don't want me to be back there. But we have to pay the bills, so there's no possible scenario where I'm just staying home and just doing what I love, and I create, and I do all these things and hope that I get some money out of it at some point. So I will have to get a job, unfortunately.
Mm, yeah.
I don't know. But I guess, I shouldn't spend all my money is absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Tanya says, do what makes you happy and feel emotionally satisfied. Donna finds it interesting, and the child is holding a wand, so maybe some new creative energy, maybe. Oh, yeah, right enough. So they are. You're absolutely right. Donna says, I sometimes see the Six of Pence as seeking financial support for a new venture. So again, this card is representing what you're maybe against doing at the moment. So I mean, sometimes it can be. It'll be interesting to see what the next two cards are, because this is what the cards are telling you should and shouldn't do. But sometimes that's coming up to make you think on it. If you're thinking, do you know what, I do have a bit of an issue asking for help, or do you know what, I maybe I maybe don't feel comfortable seeking financial help from someone to help me out here. It just plants the seed, and makes you think. So further down the line, it's been kind of a working away in your brain. And actually, you kind of work it out yourself. I'm not explaining myself very well, but
I understand.
yeah. Tanya says, don't maintain the status quo in your material world any longer. Choose wisely where to invest your energy and money. Donna says, in your country, are there grants available for artists to apply for, Orsi?
Nope, my country is corrupt and sucks, so nope.
Okay.
But I'm open to, change for scenery.
Hopefully. Okay. Next card is what the cards are telling you should do, what you should actually do. Right, we've got the Hierophant. So we've got this idea of seeking help from outside. We've almost got, the Hierophant can, to me, is like it's the go back to school card. It's the learn something card. So education, to me, this is telling you need to learn something in order to get on your path. So this could be like an online course. It could be like kind of a going to college or something and actually learning some new technique or learning something new. Just to kind of put you in a bit of a better position. Sorry, I'm moving that around and it's messing with the Zoom. Sorry, but just to put you in that bit of a better position, to get that job or find the job or find what it is that you want to do. What do you think about that?
It's interesting because I'm saving up for an iPad currently because I want to start learning digital drawing and painting, because I want to create tarot decks and oracles like that.
Well, okay.
So it's interesting.
That's quite exciting. But to me, like, if we take that as an example, right, to me, if we got the Hermit, then that would be like, you've got it, you just need to kind of a practice, you just need to work at it yourself. There's nothing really that anyone else can teach you. The Hierophant is the opposite. The Hierophant, to me, says there would be some benefit to actually seeking some education, some knowledge from outside yourself on how to do this. So in the digital art example that you used, to me, there might be some benefit to seeking some course on digital art, or some sort of.
Yeah, I already have a lot of tutorials saved,
Oh, there you go
that
then.
I want to do.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But I kind of, I was just thinking that I read the Hierophant as learning with difficulties, because that's my life's card. That's my life in a card. I learn with I always learn the hard way. So interesting that. But yeah, definitely the learning. Plus this card has a side of community as well. Finding support, finding community, finding a structure that helps.
Yeah. Out of interest, have you ever thought about flipping that around? Could you be the teacher in the situation rather than the student?
As in what?
Well,
What can I teach?
I'm pretty sure that you have a lot to offer, but like, I mean, for example, teaching an online course in art, teaching an online course in tarot.
I mean, I was thinking about tarot the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, because in Hungarian, because what you can, at least what I saw, that you can get access to in Hungarian is a quite different style. It's more of the fortune telling sort of way of reading the tarot, which I don't necessarily like. So I was
Yeah.
thinking about, when I was making my notes on Lenormand this afternoon, that maybe after a while I could put together, I don't know, a book or something that would offer a different way to look at tarot.
Hmm. Sorry.
I was like,
Sorry, I'm forgetting that that's basically covering your entire screen. So it was just that the zooms annoy me. So I was, whilst you were speaking, I was going to see if I could try and make things a wee bit clearer. But I think it's not too bad, is it?
But what I
Okay.
want to do, I mean, I didn't say that, but what I want to do and want to be is a published author. So I want my books out and be read, and I want to live off being a freaking writer.
Right. Okay.
That's my main thing. That's, you know, that's the 10 of Cups.
Yeah.
And being the fool, because you know, everybody will say to you that you can't make a living out of writing stories, but some people can, and I want to be that one person as well.
Definitely. And the Ten of Cups is a nice card for that, because the tens are about passing things down. It's about, you know, going from one cycle to another, which, you know, we tend to jump to, you know, right, the start of the end of one path and the start of another. But stories do carry that same energy, because you're taking the inspiration from, you know, from your experience, you know, your story, and you're passing that down to someone else to then take off in a different direction, you know, however that's going to affect them in their life. So I think the Ten of Cups is a nice card to talk about that kind of a thing, if I'm making sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I would dig that, Orsi. Is there a career path using digital art other than tarot creation, says V?
I mean, I see people illustrating everything, selling their prints, so I think yes.
Donna says, have you read the book Big Magic, Orsi?
I don't think so, but I'm gonna check it out. Thank
you. Oh, sorry, I'm nosying into your private business there, Scott and Hen. Right, okay, so the next card is what they're telling you shouldn't do. Right, we've got the Knight of Wands. This is like, to me, this is scattergun approach. This is like just, you know, Knight of Wands in this context is expelling all of your energy in all sorts of directions and hoping that it's going to hit. Do you ever watch the YouTube channel Good Mythical Morning?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know how they do the thing where they guess where the food is from and they throw the dart and try and get it in the right place? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So do you know how one of their bonus things is where they get like a plate of spaghetti bolognese or a pie or something, and they get to throw that? Right.
Yeah.
That is the scattergun. That is the Knight of Wands. Right.
Oh.
That is like just you're flinging everything you've got at the board and just hoping that something lands on what you're wanting. Right. It's like taking all of your darts, if you're playing darts, and just flinging them and hoping that something lands on the bullseye. That's what they're saying they don't want you to do. So the implication of that is that the cards are looking for you to take a more targeted approach. So there is going to have to be an element of research and learning, whether that's learning, you know, self-development, self-awareness learning type thing, you know, where you're looking deeply at yourself and saying, right, what do I really actually truly want? I mean, you just said you want to be a writer. Or whether that's, you know, learning about the external, learning about everything else, you know, what is that market like? What does it take to be an XYZ digital artist, creator, writer, whatever? There needs to be a bit of knowledge coming in, and you use that knowledge to be really targeted about how you're going about it. If you're going to sit and make a generic CV and send it out to 50 different companies. Maybe you'll get a job, but I don't feel as though it's going to be the job for you. It's not going to be one that's going to make you fulfilled. That's how I would read that card, pure and simple. What are your thoughts on the Knight of Wands?
I mean, I read the Nine of Wands as a let's go. Who cares? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's burn everything and then just see what happens. So exactly what you said, and because it has a bug, I kind of when you said that, throwing the spaghetti on the board, I was thinking about the bug flying next to the car's windshield and just dying because it wasn't paying attention which direction it goes. It just goes and then crashes. So yeah, I read it quite similarly. So don't rush into things, think things through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. There's nothing wrong with using your energy and using the energy that you've got, but use it wisely. Otherwise, you can kind of chase yourself around in circles.
and maybe this ties back to the Six of Pentacles. If we look at Pentacles as resource, so don't give out everything to everywhere. Just be more mindful where to. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
I still don't know why the Ten of Cups is the Ten of Cups and not the Ten of Pentacles, because the Ten of Cups is the family card, and I don't have a family, not like that. So I just it kind of irks me a bit.
Right. Okay.
I want to know.
I think that's a card that we want to think about a wee bit more. So let's pop that to the side, stick a wee star on that, and we'll come back to it. Let's see what people in the chat think. So Tanya says the Knight of Wands to me is a bit impetuous. Don't rush into anything. Think things through before you act. Yep. Bug goes splat.
Exactly.
The Hierophant looks like he's on a chessboard, so have a strategy and a plan. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Quite a lot of the majors in this deck. I'm sure the Empress and the Emperor as well. They have this for. But yeah, that was a good spot. Cool. Next card is kind of a what's happening next. It's the immediate future card. It's kind of a like everything that's happening right now. What is that leading into? Got the Page of Swords. So again with the learning, I mean the Page of Swords for me is an inquisitive character. They're all about kind of a gathering the information, sometimes a bit to a fault. But they love to know things. See how in this deck the page has swapped out his eye for, well, it looks like a monocle, but it's shining a light. So it's almost like he swapped out his eye for something that's actually going to let him take in more information. It's going to let him hone in on things, shine a light on things. And it's just going to be better for them that way. So coming up, I'm going to say what I said again about the Hierophant. It's like I'm getting like going back to school or learning. The tutorials you said you've got downloaded. I think I can see you getting stuck right into them. Because that's the page energy for me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, yes, it's definitely that, the page, this page has that don't be afraid to learn, don't be afraid to be the person in the room who knows the least of a topic and stuff like which I don't. I love learning, and especially when it connects to something that I love.
Yeah.
I did courses on, novel writing, which was really, really useful, and I learned a lot from that. So I'm sure that I'm going to learn a lot from these tutorials, and if I see a good course, then from the course. But it also highlights that accept the fact that this is the beginning of something.
Yeah.
With the page, because it's not the night. It's the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that I would notice, if you look at your present position, the influences, if you look at where your mind, both conscious and unconscious, everything's looking towards the left. The page, and of course the sword suit and the Page of Swords represents a new mindset and a kind of a clearer outlook on things, is turned around and looking to the right.
Yeah.
I don't want that, you could simplify it and say, oh, past and future. I think it's so much about that. It might actually be more kind of the emotional side of it, and then the more rational, conscious side of it. But whatever's coming up, whatever's happening in this page, I think we're seeing a kind of a change in mindset, a change in direction. What we were saying right at the start with the Soul card and the Three of Swords about how, it's almost like the way that the emotional self and the intellectual self are interacting seems to be counterproductive. I see that being turned around here in the page. And things are going to move forward a wee bit more with a bit more ease shortly. And it's again, I feel as though it's this learning situation that's going to bring that about. Let's see what you
Plus,
guys.
this page is about communication as well. So maybe the communication that I need to learn is between heart and mind.
Yeah, absolutely. It could well be.
Hi, Christine.
Okay, Susie says, it looks like a new moon in that card. Plant your seeds and have them grow. Um, oh, Kristen. Hi, Kristen. How you doing? Donna says, don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah, because the Page of Swords is an inquisitive little shit. The Page of Swords, well, they're the child that will constantly ask you why. What's that?
Yeah.
It's a cup. Why? Because it's a cup. But why?
Why? Yeah, I know.
That's Page of Swords for you. You need to walk before you can run, says Donna.
Yeah, tell it to my nephew. He wants to keep crawling and, transitioning into walking already. So some people.
What age is he, Orsi? What age is he?
9 months.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Sweet.
I know. He has a new tooth, so I'm like.
The page could be offering a new opportunity for learning, says Tanya. Okay. And the last but not least, the final card is the outcome card. And this is where I always keep my fingers crossed that it's good. But this is like kind of a.
Please don't be the Ten of Swords.
No,
the Tower.
It's not the Ten of Swords. This is a great card considering what the whole reading is about. We've got the Eight of Pentacles.
Oh, good.
So
I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
See how it almost looks like the sun?
Yeah.
At first glance, it looks like the sun card. But to me, in a career reading, this almost is the sun card, because this is telling you you're going to get yourself into a position where, things are working themselves out. Finances are absolutely fine. You've got money coming in. As far as your expertise and the work that you're doing, you're going to get yourself into a position where you kind of know what you're doing, and to a point where you don't have to think about it anymore. Things are just kind of going through nicely, like a really well put together conveyor belt almost. Everything's just working smoothly. And yeah, like just real achievement and happiness in that career umbrella. So I'm happy for you. I'm happy to see that that's the card that's come out. And I mean, we were talking about being creative. We were talking about crafting and crafts. If we look at the actual scene that we've got here.
Yeah.
The guy is kind of a wee chap here, or a wee person is crafting these coins. Are coming out of the kiln, so they are. So yeah, it looks really good. A nice colourful card as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it suggests that there's continuous work. That it's not just.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it kind of
exactly.
gives me that long-term feeling,
Definitely.
which is interesting because I never read it in a way that you just said it, because I always read it as that moment when you're almost there, you're almost where you want to be, just you have to push through the repetitive, the boring. But it's kind of interesting how you read the
Right.
card.
Right,
That's
okay.
why I love listening to other people, reading, because I always learn a lot.
See, for me, the eights are all about momentum that comes from a place of stability.
Mm.
Both are equally important. So the eight being the double four is always going to be about stability.
Mhm.
Justice, if you even think about the justice card, which is the major eight, when you're talking about numerology, I think of justice as being number eight. And that's about where you've got your, whether it's the actual law, justice laws, or whether it's like kind of a gravity or, time, it's where you've got all your rules in place. And from there, everything just works smoothly. You've got your kind of a structure in place, and that allows things to work smoothly. And the Eight of Wands, we see it in the form of, the wands are all flying perfect unisons in perfect unison through the air. So the discipline that's been needed to create that movement, to create that momentum, you really see that in the fact that the wands are parallel, and like the Eight of Cups, it comes from a place of really kind of being comfortable with yourself and knowing that you've got to kind of a step out onto that journey. And in
Mhm.
your Eight of Pentacles, you've worked hard. You've passed all the way from Ace up to the Eight. You've passed your Three, where it's like kind of a similar energy, but at the Three, you're still learning. You're learning your craft and you're working with other people in order to kind of build up your knowledge. And the Eight, you've kind of you've created that stable base from yourself, and from that stable base you can really kind of push forward and kick off, and sometimes transcend, sometimes go to levels that you never ever saw yourself going to. So right now you're saying, oh, I fancy putting out some writing, I fancy being a writer. you know the Eight of Pentacles can be telling you, think bigger. Think bigger than just putting out some books or whatever it is that you're wanting to put out. You can be so much more than what you're aiming for. So the Eight, for that reason, is an amazing card. It's a beautiful card. It's almost better than the Nine or the Ten. Maybe not in Pentacles, but in some suits, the Eight is better than the Nine or the Ten, because it's so action packed with all this positive energy, I think, and it can just take you to all these amazing places. Rant
I
over.
think that. But it's interesting because I read the Eight as the strength card,
Okay.
which is also, if I look at it as an Eight as a strength, it's also a good one, because it suggests that I will have the strength to carry on with the mundane as well, the everyday part of doing things. And Donna said that, if you want to be a writer, then write, and I do that. That's one of the happiest things that I just love doing. And I have a completed draft, which is at my sister's, and they are checking the grammars and everything. And then I'm, going to send it to someone who will hopefully check it again. And then I start looking for an agent. So it's not like I'm still at that place where I was 10 years ago, when I just hoped, but I kind of thought that it's not possible to be a writer if you, don't sit down and write a book in 3 months, because I thought that that's how it's, supposed to be. And then I was like, I did that course, and some other writers started talking about the actual process of writing a book. And then you're like, oh, so you can actually learn how to write a book. Okay. So I did that. I have a story already, which is like the coolest thing. I mean, I never imagined that I actually would have a story from start to finish, but I have one. I already started working on the second one. I have a lot of other ideas, and I just love doing that. So that part is there.
Yeah.
But I'm getting greedy, because now I want this to be my life, because this is what makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So if I bring us back to the soul card, sorry, before I do that, my apologies. I need to go back and see what people are saying about the last couple of cards.
Yeah. Oops.
So let's see. Definitely a good sign for your own creative business, says Tanya. Work on honing your craft, says Donna. Perfecting the craft and almost there, but definitely in this instance, I felt it out like Chris did, landing that perfect job. Cool. Tanya says the 8 is manifestation. Donna, if you want to be a writer, you picked up on that comment. If you want to be a writer, then write. Focus on the act of writing because it's your passion rather than it being tied to an income. So focus on the kind of a passion side of it rather than the business side of it. That part will come later. Hi, Hen. Hope you're doing okay. Oh, look.
Oh.
Tanya says it's not greedy to want that. Donna, bringing us back to the soul card. So the soul card also shows a person who seems to feel isolated, and the 10 of Cups looks like a partnership that results in the fulfillment of a dream. Yeah. So, do you see, like, in the soul card, right? Here's you, here's James. And
right.
so this kind of a stance that you're adopting in the soul card is this kind of this protectiveness that we see towards the start of the reading. The rainbow and the burst of energy and burst of colour above you is what we're seeing as the reading progresses with cards like the 9 of Cups and, you know, like your 8 of Pentacles. So all of this stuff is definitely there for the plucking. It's definitely there for you to kind of tap into. But it's about getting yourself into that position. And I'm going to say it again, the Hierophant, the Page of Swords just says to me about taking in information, learning something new. So that's us got to the end of the reading. Have you got any kind of a concluding thoughts on the soul card, Orsi?
Isn't that the 10 of Cups have the rainbow traditionally as well, by the way?
Traditionally it does,
Not
and
in
this
this one, but
it doesn't, but I think it's oh no, it's not the only one. It's one of the only cards that has a full moon on it.
oh, right.
So we still get this burst of energy, but it's in the form of the moon rather than the rainbow here. Not very good.
I like what I see.
Good. What about everybody else? Does anybody else have anything they want to add about the soul card or the reading in general? Kind of what we're seeing here. We've actually got. I mean, we're finished way before what we normally are. So, I mean, what I could maybe do if you've got any kind of any more questions, we could maybe pull additional cards for you, Orsi, if you want to. Let's
The 10 of
see.
Cups.
The 10 of Cups. You want to know what the hell this is talking about, don't you?
I'm forever single, so I don't think that's.
Okay.
I kind of want to know more.
Good call, Tanya. Shouldn't block things with words like greedy or she deserves that life. So a collaboration of some kind, maybe finding the right agent is the key, says Donna.
Could be.
Right. Before we pull additional cards for it, I want to point out that in the unconscious mind, in the kind of that realm of just beyond your reach, or not quite at the forefront of your mind, we've got this mistress of the water realm. We've got this Queen of Cups sitting, you know, with all of the kind of intuition, you know, with the emotional maturity, you know, all of the kind of emotions, and she knows when to listen to her feelings. We've got her sitting, and then here in this kind of what does Orsi think she should do? We've got the 10 of Cups, which is the culmination of the water element. I feel as though the answer is kind of a bit deeper down, than maybe
Mhm.
what you're able to access right now. I feel as though it's a subconscious thing or an unconscious thing, but it's to do with that kind of like the card is about so much more than just family. To me, the cup suit is about emotions, but connections to outside ourselves. So that can be, sure, connecting with other people emotionally. It can be connecting with our family around about us, definitely. But it can also be about things like connecting to nature, connecting to other people, platonically, friends. Like
Mhm.
what we're doing right now, the round table reading is a big Ten of Cups moment because we're all coming round this metaphorical round table and we're all connecting in one way or another. So that's like a big Ten of Cups moment as well. It's like all of these people coming to the table and just connecting with each other. How does
Mm.
that fit into
Okay.
the actual question, though? So we
No,
were
it
talking.
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense because it's in the what should I do position, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely that uh, finding that supportive group of people, or
yeah.
and
What?
what
Mhm.
someone said about the agent could be. I wasn't thinking about
Um,
that, but
so could be about a deep friendship. By hen. What was that about? Um, what was that you were saying? Oh, what Donna was saying about finding the
yeah,
right
yeah,
agent. Okay. So I'm going to put these just to one side for now. We'll keep the Ten of Cups there just as a focus point. But so we want to ask like maybe like an additional question as to like give us some clarity on what that Ten of Cups is talking about. So in the context of your career, in the context of what you feel that you should be doing, what are we getting at with that Ten of Cups?
yeah. When you're holding the cards, they look so tiny.
Do you think so?
I have a problem holding them because they are just a bit too big.
Right, okay.
Hmm.
Another Cups card is coming up. Definitely about connecting. So we've gone from the 10 to the ace. Do you see that? I mean, to me,
Yeah.
the 10 and the ace are a really similar energy. Um, but it's in the so the situation that we've got mapped out here, the description that we've got is holding things too closely, holding things too close to our chest, almost like fear to let go, So in the context of where you are right now, you might feel scared. So one of the solutions that's open to you is, look for a job right now, look for something right now. And then if something comes up that you really want to do, that you know you're going to love, go for it. But then it's like, oh, well, can I actually do that? Are you tied in for the entire year? And is that maybe what's, could we be seeing a bit of the fear to act?
Mm.
Am I
Well,
making
I mean, I have to stay until my sister comes back.
right? Okay, so you're kind of a tied in that way then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
because I wouldn't want to screw with her.
yeah, right. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I mean, the advice here is still your Ace of Cups. It's still about opening up that kind of a channel, that connection. Um, Something's flashing on my screen. I'm just going to check it's not something urgent. Nope, it's not. Sorry, I need to reset. So I do. Um, so we wanted more information on what the Ten of Cups was telling us. We're still kind of in that area of connection. There's a bit of a situation where there might be, you know, Four of Pentacles to me is when you're retaining something that you should be letting go. You know, it's like when you're holding on too tightly to something for fear of losing it. and it can describe a whole host of different situations where you're doing that. If we look at it very literally, as we see in the picture, we see someone who's grabbing too tight, who's kind of grabbing onto their money and they're not investing it wisely. Other situations is where you basically put yourself in a box. You put yourself in a ducat. You say, "This is me. That's where I am," and I'm not. I'm not expressing myself properly, and it's starting to frustrate me. I don't know if this is like a quick while you're ahead situation. Let's change focus here. Coming up, so where you see that situation going is no, I'm not connecting with those three cards in the slightest in terms of the only thing that makes sense to me is the freaking Ace of Cups. So it does. That's the only thing that makes sense in the context of what we're looking at, because we're going from the 10 to the ace. So it's like we're in the same vein. We're in the vein of, connecting. I just don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I don't know what we're,
The Four of Pentacles makes sense because if we look, if we think about the book, the cards, the whatever, it's also a reminder, especially in this deck, that there's no point trying to accumulate wealth and just trying to hold on to things, because death can, appear anytime, and when you die, you can't carry anything with you. So in a way, maybe with the Six of Pentacles, it's not about keeping money tightly, but maybe it's more about being more mindful about resources, but also using them. Because if you die, then you can't use anything up, and you can't share anything. You have knowledge as well as a resource.
Yeah,
it could be that. And the Five of Wands, is that the Five of Wands? It's the Five of Wands, right?
it is. Yeah, Five of Wands.
It could be that being mindful not to let people stay in my life who make me feel like that. And because I always read this card as the office drama, I was thinking about the library, because I still have some ties to the library. So maybe I have to cut those as well. I have to actually take that leap of faith, what the Fool suggests, and leave these things behind. An office job, because I'm not good with office jobs.
Right, okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad you were able to read them, because I've apparently just drawn a complete blank. Let's see. I think Orsi has said before that she doesn't get as in touch with her emotions as others do. So maybe that's some encouragement to lean into more of that.
Sorry, I was just thinking that, I'm the sad drunk, because when I drink, all my emotions comes out, and I was just looking at the Ace of Cups with that big, cup.
Yeah.
So maybe I should drink more. Get in touch with
There
my
you go.
emotions.
I think the Ten of Cups could be finding a work family environment that supports you and where you feel you belong, as opposed to how you feel currently, where you want to work at home on your own. The Four of Pentacles, I thought, was hoarding money. Tara told me it can be people or old beliefs.
Yeah.
I think Deanne likes your suggestion about drinking more.
I mean, I'm not suggesting to Deanne, because she shouldn't drink.
That's very true.
Especially not with her Ace of Cups.
No, right enough. That was one of the cards that I pulled for Deanne.
Yeah, I watched I missed the live stream on Friday, but I watched it today, and I saw the cards and everything.
Yeah. So, with all of that in mind, Orsi, have you got any more questions for us? Anything else that you want clarified or anything?
No, but I just wanted to say thank you for everyone because it really helps me, and thank you a lot because I feel, or right now, I feel so much better. I just have to remind myself to stay in this headset and mindset.
Yeah.
In the eight of cups, eight of pentacles, eight of cups.
Yeah. Just remember that that's what you've got coming up. Cool.
Can you take me a picture later of the spread?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll take a picture as soon as we finish up, and I'll send it over to you. But thank you so much, Orsi, for being here. I always say this, but I always do really appreciate when people are willing to come on and do this and open themselves up to being read by everyone, because it's not an easy thing to do. So I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Let me change this around here actually, because there we go. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure being live with you, and I can't wait to be live with you on your channel.
Yeah.
Can you remember what date we said?
Let me check. It's the 20th.
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 Right, okay. Exciting stuff.
And we're gonna talk about spreads, so cannot wait. And really, thank you so much, because I always appreciate when people, take their time and energy and ideas and everything, because it helps a lot.
Good. Well, I'm glad that it's helped. Let me see if there's any more comments to catch. The Four of Pence with the Ace could be guarding your heart from new relationships and opportunities trying to come in. And the Five of Wands, the struggle or challenge to overcome this. Thank you, Susie. I'm glad you were here, and I'm glad you've enjoyed it. You were very brave to come on, Orsi, and thanks for allowing me to participate and to grow and learn from you all. No, thank you, Tanya.
Yes, you were really, really helpful.
Yeah, it was. Hope that you've gotten some inspiration for how to move forward, Orsi.
Yes.
Oh, Beth's just popped in right at the end. Well, watch it back, and if you've got any advice for Orsi based on the cards that we've pulled, Beth, then get in touch with her.
Oh, you can leave a comment, and I'm gonna come back and check.
Definitely.
If it's easy.
Okay. Right. Well, thanks again, Orsi. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here. We couldn't do this without you. It's been absolutely amazing. Try to think if there's any news, any updates. I don't think there is. So I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. I'll hopefully speak to you at some point soon. Take care, everyone. See you all later.